Hey, good morning. Welcome in, guys. We are about to embark on our last discussion on ancient Rome. So, last time we talked about the spread of Christianity, and we also looked at the factors that led to the demise and the collapse of the Roman civilization. So, today we're really going to kind of look at the legacy that Rome has left us. Okay, that'll be our last discussion. You'll have a review, we'll have a Kahoot in our next session, and we'll open up the test window as well. Okay? All right, here we go. So, the legacy of Greco Roman civilization, all right, the mixing of elements from Greek, Hellenistic, and Roman culture produced a new culture known as Greco Roman civilization or culture. This is often called the classical civilization. Okay? Romans believed in their sculpting, their mosaics, and painting for their art. A lot of beautiful work can be found in the town of Pompeii. So, this was a city that was destroyed after the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in 79 AD. A lot of the artwork was preserved in the ash. So, this is kind of um, a natural phenomenon where essentially everyone was frozen in time, okay, in Pompeii. We have some pictures here and images on our slides today. As you can see, those mosaics were preserved, but also human bodies were literally frozen because of the ash, all right, the power, the magnitude of that volcano. Okay, so archaeologists have had a lot to learn from this city and kind of excavating and learning every year. There's new information that's coming out. Okay, all right. So understand this: the Romans borrowed much of their philosophy from the Greeks. Okay, the poet Virgil spent 10 years, all right, writing the most famous work of Latin literature, the Aeneid. Okay, now the Aeneid is actually a story that's going to follow the legendary Aeneas and is modeled after Homer's epics. Remember the Iliad and the Odyssey? It's modeled after those. Okay, Tacitus is going to be the most famous Roman historian. All right, he wrote history accurately and was very concerned with the Roman lack of morality. Well, what's one of the big themes we talked about? Romans having this thirst for violence. Tacitus was someone that looked at it and said, this is wrong. We have got some major issues here with our obsessive culture that's going towards violence, gore, and destruction. Okay? So, understand this. We look at the legacy of Rome. The Latin language, all right, remained the language of the West long after the fall of Rome. So, everyone is speaking Latin, and it was the official language of the Roman Catholic Church into the 20th century. All right, the Romans were also master builders. They were able to build the arch, the dome. Concrete was also used to combine and make these spectacular structures. Okay, a lot of you guys have been looking at art and architecture in your projects. Um, One of the more impressive human feats the Romans created were the aqueducts. Okay, the aqueducts were designed to bring water into the cities and towns. All right, there are still some Roman aqueducts remaining in Europe today, so you can still go to Europe, and there are aqueducts that are scattered throughout the continent. That's what's kind of cool about Europe is that a lot of the historical structures and buildings are all still there. It's a very, very old continent. Okay. All right. Now, to go into their law and their politics, the Romans had a system of law, and it was kind of like this. All right, all persons had the right to equal treatment under the law. A person was considered innocent until proven guilty. All right, the burden of proof, all right, rested with the accuser rather than the accused. A person should be punished only for actions, not thoughts. So if you remember, think about how the Greeks were, condemned and persecuted for their thoughts. Uh, Romans looked at it a little bit differently. Said, hey, if you're actually acting on those thoughts, that's a problem. Okay? Any law that seemed unreasonable or grossly unfair could be set aside. Okay? All right, and lastly, kind of full circle, right? We started out, we opened up the Colosseum. All right, now the Colosseum, again, is this massive, all right, Roman amphitheater and was designed by Emperor Vespasian. Okay, so it's going to hold gladiatorial games, it's going to hold wild animal hunts, it's going to hold live Greek mythological plays. There are going to be a reenactment of live naval battles. There are a series of crucifixions that are occurring in the Colosseum. and other forms of wild entertainment. Okay, what does it show though? More than anything, the Colosseum expressed the Romans' thirst for violence, cruelty, and destruction. Okay, and there's a good image there of one of the sea battles that was being held within the Colosseum. So you have all of this, and the legacy of Rome. It's one of the more important civilizations that we are going to learn about, if not the most important. Just kind of looking at it and learning from it too, and learning from their mistakes, and learning from some of the actions that they held. And you can take a look at Rome in a lot of different ways. We look at it kind of in a Cliff Note version where everything was kind of shortened, but again, I was happy to teach it to you guys, and now we're gonna debrief. We're gonna learn through our review. We're gonna learn through our assessment. So we're gonna do that to finish things up. I'm looking forward to seeing your projects. But that's a wrap. And again, I appreciate you guys tuning in for Ancient Rome. Thank you. Have a good one.